What's up, YouTube? Back again with episode 7 here. Got my son Christian.
So,
Round of applause for him. Uh, as you saw in the other video, what we're going to talk about is our top 10 favorite movies all time. Now, for me, top 10 all time, that's kind of hard to pick. Okay, because you got so many good movies out there, so many heartwarming movies, so many action movies, so many different types of movies that it's almost crazy to try to pick 10. Okay, so we got 15, five honorable mentions, and we're gonna talk about those. We got little Yoda here with us. Say hello. He said hello, uh, and we're gonna go over these movies. He's gonna go over his top 10, why he picked them, and then I'm gonna go over my top 10. And at the end, at the end of his 10, he's gonna go over his top five honorable mentions, but maybe give you a little bit of detail on why he likes the other 10, and I'm gonna do the same. So, without further ado, take it away, Christian.
alright, so wait, did you want me to say my top 10 first or the honorable mentions first?
You could do. As you can see, this is unscripted. So go ahead and just go like your top nine, and then you can do your honorable mentions, and then
Oh, okay.
and then go from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then before your number one, let's give him a little bit of suspense.
Alright, okay, so at number 10, I'll go Forrest Gump. I really like Forrest Gump. It's a great feel-good movie. Tom Hanks is in the movie. He plays perfectly the role of Forrest Gump, and won the Oscar. Definitely deserved that. And at number 9, I put The Departed. I don't think Dad likes the movie very much, but I really like it because it's got a great all-star cast with Mark Wahlberg and Leonardo DiCaprio and Matt Damon and Jack Nicholson. Directed by one of the greatest, Martin Scorsese. Great crime drama. If you're into that, check it out. At number 8, Fight Club with Brad Pitt and Edward Norton, about fighting and underground fight club, and a bunch of other conspiracy theories with the movie. And it's got a great plot twist. I won't spoil it for those who haven't seen it, but someone dies. But at number 7 is Taxi Driver with Robert De Niro, another one directed by Martin Scorsese. Great filmmaker, great movie. It's dark. It's an old movie, but it's a really good one on Netflix. Check it out if you haven't. At number 6, Silence of the Lambs, another great one about Hannibal Lecter. With Anthony Hopkins and Jodie Foster, won Best Picture. Another great, fabulous movie. That's number 6. And number 5, Scarface. Great movie, Al Pacino, about,
Ooh. I'm sorry. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, with Al Pacino, about the world of drugs and how it can bring up someone and then how it can come crashing down at the end. Drugs is not the way. Don't do drugs, guys. And at number 4, I have Goodfellas, the story about Henry Hill with Robert De Niro, Ray Liotta, and Joe Pesci. Another one directed by Martin Scorsese. You can tell that Martin Scorsese is my favorite director because 3 of his movies are in my top 10. Great movie about 3 decades in the mob. Check it out if you haven't. At number 3, The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger as a Joker. I think it's probably the best performance ever. He method acted so much for that and just did a great job. And also the other characters, Batman played by Christian Bale, another great actor, and Alfred by Michael Caine, and Morgan Freeman's in there. I think Lucas Fox, I believe. I probably got that character wrong, but. And then another great movie, and Two-Face, and Gary Oldman's in there as Commissioner Gordon. Just great action in it. At number 2, I got The Shining. One of the scariest movies ever for some people. I was even scared the first time I saw it, and I don't get scared by too many movies. With Jack Nicholson, directed by another great film director, Stanley Kubrick, who's a little controversial at times, but is a great director. And if you haven't checked it out, check it out right away. And I have 5 honorable mentions. Die Hard is 1, Apocalypse Now, 7, Gladiator, and Joker. All great movies. It's tough to pick a top 10, like Dad said earlier. It's very hard to pick a top 10, and at number 1, I picked my all-time favorite movie, Pulp Fiction, a great classic with an all-star cast, directed by one of the greatest, Quentin Tarantino, with Bruce Willis, Samuel Jackson, Uma Thurman, and John Travolta, and Vin and Rames. Just great movie, 3 different stories into one movie. I don't even know how you can do that, but somehow, somewhere, Quentin Tarantino pulled it off right off out of his pocket and did it fabulous.
Well, each of those movies you can't argue with. I mean, I'm gonna argue them on some of them, but for the most part, really good list. Especially honorable mentions you got there. Surprisingly, we got some of the same honorable mentions. I know a lot of people. I'll just name one of the honorable mentions right now, which is the Joker. I don't know if you feel the same way I do. I mean, the Joker's a great movie.
Great movie.
Great movie. Great direction. Great acting. But as of right now, to call it one of the greatest movies of all time, it's kind of hard to do because you gotta savor it a little bit. You gotta let it mature a little bit. I mean, it's a great movie. And for those of you maybe who are out there, it was like, well, what about the Joker? Yeah, the Joker is a great movie. But these are movies that have standed the test of time. That's why these are on our list. I'm gonna go ahead and go through mine. Mine's gonna be a little bit different. Maybe a couple of them are gonna be the same. Different for different reasons, but the same for pretty much the same reasons. So Menace to Society is at number 10 for myself. Menace to Society is talking about, when we were growing up, you had the drug culture, you had the gang culture, you had the people that were doing different things, maybe that weren't so great. But it kind of showed you how you can change your life. And if you wait too long, you probably won't get that opportunity. And Kane found that out at the end of the movie, that he waited probably too long to try to change his life. The Dark Knight, everything he said is accurate. Great movie, great direction. Heath Ledger did a phenomenal job as a Joker. It's probably one of the main reasons why The Dark Knight is on my list. I'm going to go a little light on the next one at number 8. I'm going to go with The Breakfast Club. It's kind of my era. It's kind of at the time where I was growing up. We were joking about this movie a couple of days ago because I said it was one of my favorites, and he goes, "Yeah, well, I've been to Saturday school, and it's nothing like Saturday school." Which I've been to Saturday school too. Hey, let me go to Saturday school. But yeah.
Like father, like son.
So Breakfast Club, it's just one of those movies where, you have those different elements of different people coming together, and, you had the jock, you had the geek, you had the rebel, and you have them all coming together, the princess, and it was just a good story. So I have to put something light in mine because a lot of mine are dark, such as next one, number 7 is Glory. You got Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman, Matthew Broderick in the movie also, and it's just about the Civil War. And that movie is just, again, another great movie with great direction, great acting, great personnel to bring that movie together so that you just have just a classic movie. Next movie for me, number 6 is Aliens. Aliens is one of my all-time favorites. Why? Because it stands the test of time. Even with that space age technology type thing, some of the things maybe you could see that a little out of date, but even then, even the tracers to detect what's coming at you and stuff like that, it was just so forward thinking as far as technology wise. It was just such a great movie to watch. Sigourney Weaver's in it. You have so many good actors in there. Bill Pullman? No, not Bill.
Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton. Bill Paxton was in it. Just some great actors in it. Great direction. You're gonna hear that a lot. Great actors, great direction. But that's just
the way to describe the movie.
Yeah, it's just a way to describe a movie. You can't get away from that. And number 5 for me is The Edge. The Edge is The Edge is a kind of a realistic movie for me. You have the rich guy who has a beautiful wife, model, and he seems to have everything until it all comes to where he's suspicious of one of his friends, one of his confidants who's there, and that he might be cheating with his wife, and everything comes out in the end. Whether it's true or not, he finds out in a bad way. I don't want to ruin the movie for some of you because maybe The Edge ain't something that you've seen. So I really don't want to give that movie away, but I'm guaranteeing you, if you watch that movie It'll scare you. It'll thrill you, and it'll make you think that anything's possible. So watch that movie, The Edge. That's my number 5 movie. I kind of pushing that movie, but and why isn't it in my number 1? Because there's a lot of good movies out there. So again, any of these movies can replace a movie. It can go to number 1 to just depending on how you feel. So number 4 for me is The Wizard of Oz. Again, classic. You got the different characters. I'm really character driven in a lot of my movies. Different attitudes, different mentalities in that movie. This is just, a broad spectrum of that. You got the Scarecrow, who doesn't have a brain. You got the Tin Man who doesn't have a heart, and the Lion who needs courage. And everybody in this world walking through this planet is looking for that stuff. So, you're looking for knowledge, or you're looking for to be heartfelt. You're looking to have that courage to move forward in a day, and that's what I take away from it. I know it's a classic, so most of you have probably seen it. I know it took my son a while to see, or maybe
I still haven't seen Wizard of Oz.
Okay, there you go. He
That's
still hasn't seen Wizard of Oz.
One of the few movies
and
haven't seen.
I feel as a failure as a parent, but Wizard of Oz. Go out there and watch it. One of these. The next time my son comes and visits, and we're gonna be actually watch that movie. We gotta watch that movie. Number 3 for me is Pulp Fiction. It was his number 1, and I don't want to go too far into the weeds on that one. Again, Quentin Tarantino is a phenomenal director.
Greatest script ever written.
Directs so many different movies, writes so many different movies that it's hard to pick a certain one, but Pulp Fiction just brings a slew of characters, from the boxer to the mob guy, to the hitman, to the hitmen, and the brains on Brett. So, it's just a great movie to watch. It's definitely maybe not a family movie. Go to Wizard of Oz for that. My number 2 movie is Scarface. I struggled with this one because Scarface is one of the greatest movies ever made. I know it's about drugs, drug dealing, and a rise to power, but it also lets you know that, as Christian alluded to, is you can rise as much as you can, but once you fall hard, and he fell hard, literally, into a pool of water, and then his blood, literally, you can fall really hard. So you may think you're on top of the world, or the world is yours, but no, it can turn around in a heartbeat. Now, that was my number 2 movie. My 5 honorable mentions I got is Set It Off, Braveheart, The Joker, Revenge. One thing about that is it's another movie about deception, friendship, stuff like that. That's the only thing I'm going to give on that. But if you haven't seen that movie, watch it. It's Kevin Costner, Madeline Stowe, and great movie. Watch that movie. Flash Gordon. I'm going back to the 80s. That's one of my honorable mentions. Yes, it's quirky. Yes, it's kind of a weird movie, but if you watch it, you're gonna love it. I think because it has a lot of elements, different characters, different visually different things that you don't really see in today's movies, and it's classic. So give it a shot. And finally, last but not least, my number 1 movie is Full Metal Jacket. Surprising, I know. Being a United States Marine, former United States Marine, a lot of Marines won't like that, but there's so much realism in the movie. Really good direction. You got the boot camp element going into the different stages of what you see in I guess in the military, and during wartime. It gives you a glimpse of the things the horrors, the funny side, some funny sides to it, the friendships you make, and the people that you have to trust next to you. It's just it just reminds me a lot of some of the things that I went through personally, the friendships that I made. So give it a look. If you haven't seen it, it would be surprising to me because it's one of the best war movies ever for me. I know Platoon is it Platoon or
my favorite's Apocalypse Now. Platoon is great too, but Apocalypse Now is my favorite war movie. Yeah.
It's his favorite war movie, which to me is just as good. I wouldn't. Again, these lists could be interchangeable. I'm gonna go ahead and say that mine's better.
I was surprised you didn't put Scarface at number one because you were always saying that's your favorite movie.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
I was shocked.
Yeah, Scarface for me is one of my top movies, but I don't know. I almost thought he was gonna put Scarface up there, but I guess Pulp
Top five,
Fiction.
yeah.
I was surprised with his top five. It's in his top five,
Yeah.
so I can't be mad at that.
Yeah.
I want to thank Yoda. Yeah, I want to thank Yoda for hanging out.
Shout out to Star Wars, another good movie.
Shout out to Yoda and the Star Wars. Well, actually, it's Grogu. It's not Yoda.
Oh yeah, from The Mandalorian.
Yeah, so he's from The Mandalorian. This is Grogu. So for those of you who don't know, I'm pretty sure he don't like being called Baby Yoda. Yeah, I know. You know, sometimes he'll throw his arm out there and try to choke you and they do the little Jedi thing if you're not careful with this guy right here. So, yeah, I know. So, I appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Independent Joe. And this is my son, Christian. And I appreciate you. Appreciate you checking us out. Top 10 movies. Put in the comments if you agree, disagree, what you saw in maybe some of these movies, something that you liked. Maybe point something out that maybe something we haven't seen, or maybe give us maybe your top 10. Let us know maybe something that we can consider and think about. Appreciate you again.
I know you agree with my top 10, guys.
Sure. Okay. All right. Appreciate you. Thank you.